In 1789, the most powerful monarchy in Europe began to collapse from the inside. France looked stable on the surface, a king on the throne, nobles in control, a system that had lasted for centuries, but underneath it was breaking. The country was drowning in debt. Years of war and helping America win independence had nearly bankrupted the state. At the same time, ordinary people were being crushed. Taxes fell hardest on those who had the least, and when harvests failed, bread prices surged. For many, food was no longer guaranteed. France's society was rigidly divided. At the top were the clergy and nobility, privileged, wealthy, and largely exempt from taxes. Below them was everyone else. Over 95% of the population, with almost no political power. By 1789, the imbalance was impossible to ignore. King Louis called a meeting of the Estates General, hoping to fix the financial crisis. Instead, it exposed how broken the system really was. The Third Estate, representing the common people, demanded a real voice. When they were shut out, they did something unprecedented. They declared themselves the National Assembly and claimed authority over the nation. It was a direct challenge to the king. In Paris, tension turned into action. On July 14th, a crowd moved on the Bastille. It held only a handful of prisoners, but that wasn't the point. The Bastille stood as a symbol of royal authority. By the end of the day, it was in the hands of the people. Across France, similar uprisings followed. Peasants attacked estates. Feudal records were burned. The old order began to unravel. Inside the assembly, sweeping changes came quickly. Feudal privileges were abolished. Legal equality was declared. For the first time, the idea took hold that power came from the people, not the crown. But the king remained, and trust in him was fading. In 1791, Louis XVI attempted to flee the country with his family. He was recognized, stopped, and brought back to Paris. From that moment, the monarchy's position was no longer secure. A year later, it was gone. France was declared a republic. Louis XVI was put on trial, accused of betraying his own nation. He was found guilty. In January 1793, he was executed. Soon after, Marie Antoinette followed. But removing the monarchy didn't stabilize the country. It made things more dangerous. France was now at war with much of Europe. Inside the country, fear and suspicion spread. Who supported the revolution and who opposed it became a matter of life and death. Power shifted to a small group determined to defend the revolution at any cost. At its center was Maximilien Robespierre. He believed that protecting the revolution required extreme measures. What followed became known as the Reign of Terror. Arrests became routine. Trials were swift. Executions were constant. The guillotine operated daily. Thousands were killed. Nobles, political rivals, and ordinary citizens alike. The revolution had turned inward. It was no longer just about changing France. It was about controlling it, but even that couldn't last. By 1794, fear of Robespierre himself had grown too strong. He was arrested and executed. With his fall, the terror came to an end. But the damage had been done. France had gone through years of instability, violence, and uncertainty. A new government was established, but it struggled to maintain control. Out of that instability, a new figure emerged. Napoleon Bonaparte, a general with growing influence and ambition. In 1799, he seized power. The revolution, at least in its original form, was over. France had moved from monarchy to republic to military rule. But the impact didn't end there. The French Revolution had permanently changed how people thought about power.